What is up, beautiful people? Thank you for tuning in. This is the Matt Ramage Show presented by the greatest gas station of all time, Quick Trip over here. And right now they are giving away chicken for life. If you go to Quick Trip, buy chicken, use your Quick Rewards card, you are in sweepstakes to win chicken for the rest of your life. You know what I mean? Unless you're a zombie. I'm not sure that there's restrictions on being a zombie. But if I was Quick Trip, I'd have thrown that in a small print. You know what I mean? You never know. You don't want zombies running up on you trying to get free chicken for the rest of eternity. You know what I mean? But thank you all for tuning in. We're gonna have some good time right here. We're talking about some Packers. We're gonna hammer the chat mostly today. You know what I mean? Take questions, talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. We have one phone call. All right, so I'm gonna do a call-in show. I want this to be a show for the people. You know what I mean? So people can. I'm gonna set up something so that people can send in videos, so they can say their take, say whatever they want to say. We got the voicemail thing going on. We're gonna have text. We're gonna have email. Any way people can get involved with the show will be fantastic. You know what I mean? What is up, Mark? How you doing today? You know what I mean? We're having a good time over here. Facebook user, what is up, brother? How are we doing? All right, so the Packer news, we got Devondre Campbell off to the 49ers. He had some things to say on his way out of this thing. Aaron Jones, people are still talking about that. We'll let the people in the comments decide how this conversation goes. But I do want to talk about a little bit about Devondre Campbell. But before we get into that, big shout out to Nick Law, sponsor of the show. You know what I mean? And Nick Law, I had Mr. Russell Nicolay on the podcast. And so if you want to hear about Russell Nicolay, you can check him out. You're right there. Mr. Billboard, man. You know what I mean? He's got billboards all over Wisconsin. And beautiful law firm. You know what I mean? You find yourself in a situation, get an accident, insurance companies being feisty, head up nicolaylaw.com. You know what I mean? But be sure to check out that podcast I had with Nicolay, with Russell Nicolay. And it was fun. You know what I mean? He's a good guy. Big Wisconsin man. You know what I mean? But what is up, everyone? Thank you all for tuning in. We have 150 people watching this thing already. I think that's like a lot of Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. I think that number is being inflated. I don't know. I feel like I don't trust the number. That number is starting to rise in the last three times I've done some streams over here. At the gym, but had to jump in. What is up, man? You know what I mean? I am not at the gym. I've had 3 beers. You know what I mean? But we're going to talk about some stuff. Devondre Campbell had some stuff to say about the Packers on his way out. I was going to post those, put all of them up there, but he tweeted so many things. So I'm just going to break it down, and people can chime in on the comments if I miss anything. But basically, I think one of the biggest things he said is that they didn't like the defense. He didn't like the defense, how it was being called. Joe Barry, everyone, the fans are talking about that. So he went to Matt LaFleur and he was kind of saying that they didn't listen. I think that's why, you look at that survey that the Packers took, or the whole league took, and Matt LaFleur kind of got a low grade on that. I think that might be it, because maybe the players weren't happy. You know what I mean? I mean, obviously, the fans, we know how the fans were, Joe Barry, they got to pressure more, they got to do this and that. But Devondre Campbell, I wasn't mad about it. Like some Packer fans that I saw with Campbell, were upset with it. Oh, he's bashing him on his way out. He should shut up. Which I to a certain point I agree with, because you're a 49er now. So just trying to move on. But I have no problem with people are saying the wrong stuff on his name, and he's I'm gonna say what I want to say. But that defense was not ideal last season. You kind of had that sense, a lot of people were talking about, did the coaches lose the locker room, this and that, which I don't think was the case. But the Packers get scrutiny, right, for how they leave veteran players at the end of their career, but it's only select few players, because it's more times than not, they're probably 90%, you know what I mean, or over 90% of most people, they don't complain too much, but there's a few players, and there's something there about how they, because Devondre Campbell said that They didn't call him to tell him that he was being released. I feel like that is something that probably could happen or whatever. But I don't think I think the Packers are a good place to play. I think the Packers people seem to like playing for the Packers, and maybe that's part of it. Like when they're not here no more, they get upset. But like the Packers ain't batting 1,000. They're not perfect. You know what I mean? So I think Campbell makes some really good points. It is what it is. But I do want to play a video of Kenny Clark. He was on my podcast. You should definitely be checking that out if you haven't listened to or watched it yet. And I asked Kenny Clark, what's it like playing for the Packers? You know what I mean? Are the Packers good? And this is what he had to say. What's your view on like playing for the Packers and organization?
Man, first class organization. It's nothing bad to say about Green Bay. Like they take care of you. They gonna make sure just everything is just first class. The food, how they just take care of us in the locker room as far as just our equipment and all that kind of stuff. The trainers. Everything is pretty much first class. They tell you things straightforward and all that kind of stuff, and they honest about everything. So that's all you can really ask for for an organization.
No, like obviously, like Kenny Clark is a member of the Packers. And people are like, well, he's not going to say anything bad, but that is what a player who plays for the Packers feels, right? Like I get that. Like the Packers ain't perfect. Like they're and like a lot of what he was talking about, with like Campbell was talking about, with like what the defense. Like I see a lot of people in the chat saying, like, yeah, players were misused. Like Preston Smith is covering Devontae Adams. That should not happen. I'm not no like defensive coordinator, but like obviously like there was some stuff. But like I think that as Packer fans, we need to move on from Joe Barry. All right, we got a new defensive coordinator. We're gonna be all right. I get it. He's upset, but like I wouldn't take too much into it. Like the Packers don't know how to handle their team. The Packers don't, like people are like kind of like I feel like dragging it out. Like he's not happy. Like, you know what I mean? Like people leave their jobs, they're not happy with how it happened. He was an all-pro in Green Bay. Much love to him. I hope he has success in San Francisco. I hate the 49ers, so it's tough to say. But like, all love, you know what I mean? Here we go. Let's get to some comments here, right? And then we have a phone call. We have one voicemail. Only one person left a voicemail, people. Come on, let's go. Letting Jones walk was a smart man. Dude was solid. Letting Campbell go also was bad. Here's my thought on this with Aaron Jones. I love Aaron Jones, and I was not happy that they let him go. I don't approve of that decision, but I feel like, dude, Josh Jacobs is that dude. The Packers are not going to miss a step at running back. Some leadership, maybe. I think Josh Jacobs, people said he's a good leader, but obviously he's not going to walk in there leading. But I feel like Aaron Jones, like on the football field, he's replaced. You know what I mean? I love Aaron Jones, like full-heartedly. I think Aaron Jones is like such a good dude, such a good running back. And I think this year he'll be a good running back. He could have been for the Packers. But I feel like Josh Jacobs also is a good running back. So I feel like the Packers aren't going to I wouldn't say aren't going to miss him, but like his role is filled good. You know what I mean? Like I don't know how to say it. I'm not trying to be a douche to Aaron Jones. I think Aaron Jones is a baller, and I don't like the decision, but I feel like if you're going to do that, bring in Josh Jacobs, like makes up for it. You know what I mean? Like he's the guy that can take that spot. You know what I mean? Great show, Matt. Keep it rolling. I appreciate you, Larry. I appreciate you. Campbell is good and definitely was misused. Yeah, he was definitely misused. I think a lot of that defense, like I think it's a trash show. You know what I mean? It's a lot of bad things happen. I feel like that next season, I feel like the Packers are gonna dude. I feel like the Packers are gonna be so good next season. And I know people are like, oh, you're just a biased fan, this and that. But like, dude, the Packers are gonna be so good. The defense is gonna be good. Look at the offense. I'll say Aaron Jones. We got Jordan Love, we got Josh Jacobs, AJ Dillon is back. That wide receiver group, young wide receiver group is gonna get better. Tight ends are gonna get better. Like, and they were already really good last season, right? So I feel like this offense is going to be legit. The defense, we got a new defensive coordinator, new defensive scheme. I'm feeling good about it. I feel like this. I feel like this Packers team is going to be really, really good. All right, let's get to some of these comments over here. Hopefully, LaFleur learned from the experience of Barry. Yeah, like I feel like because I do like Matt LaFleur a lot, right? I back Matt LaFleur, like, but like he's not perfect either, right? He kept Joe Barry too long. You know what I mean? Like the players were telling him apparently, according to like some reports, fans seen it, so like he had to see it too. Like this defense isn't working. They're like not doing what they're not because like you should be putting your players in the best position to win, right? And I feel like that wasn't happening on defense. But you know, I still ride with LaFleur. I still ride with Goody too, even though like you know he released Aaron Jones. We're not happy about it, but I still ride with Goot. You know what I mean? I still ride with him. He got Josh Jacobs. He filled that spot. A lot of fans might not agree with it, but like he did what he thinks is best for the team. Because the thing about what Gutekunst had to do with Aaron Jones, it wasn't about what he did, what Aaron Jones did for this team, which is a lot. You know what I mean? Aaron Jones was a great leader. When he came back that last stretch of the season, he was huge, getting to the playoffs, winning the playoffs. Aaron Jones is huge, but like Gutekunst has to think about what is this next season going to be? What is this next season going to look like? And he thought, you know, Aaron Jones, this is what we're willing to pay. They didn't want to take that. I get that. I respect that. You keep taking pay cuts for so long. And they're like, all right, let's get Josh Jacobs. And Josh Jacobs is a huge pickup. It is. I mean, all love to Aaron Jones, but Josh Jacobs, we're going to be all right. You know what I mean? We're going to be all right. Here we go. We got Larry says, offense will be lights out. I absolutely agree. I think the Packers offense, like I see Lion fans, I see Bears fans. I'm going to talk about the Bears here in a minute. I know people don't like when I talk about the Bears. Like you talk about the Bears too much, but you know, I got to trash them. You know what I mean? But my opinion, I love Jones, but we got Jacobs for less than we would have paid Aaron Jones this year. And that's the thing. Like I see a lot of arguments going across my comments is like about the pay. We got him for less. We got him for, you know, no, he wanted more, like the contract situations. But like we did, as far as I understand, Josh Jacobs would have been cheaper than Aaron Jones would have been. Obviously, there were negotiations with pay cut. He wasn't interested, and like I get why he wasn't interested. He took a pay cut last year. You know, it's kind of shady to keep asking to take a pay cut when you're like balling out. But they got Josh Jacobs now. You know what I mean? Aaron Jones is a Viking. You know what I mean? Let's get to him. Defense will be better with a new defensive coordinator, and we have Nixon back. Yeah, and McKinney signed McKinney like a huge safety. That's what I made a post the other day about. The Packers got basically the top two free agent players on the market, you know, running back and a safety. And people were like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, dude, they got McKinney. Like, that's what was the Packers' biggest need, safety. They got a big time safety, you know, and then Aaron Jones out. We got Josh Jacobs in, which I think is at best the same, neutral, whatever you want to call it. So the Packers are better right now than they were last year, I think. That's what I'm thinking right now. The Packers are better because I feel like Josh Jacobs and Aaron Jones are interchangeable, like however you want to say, give or take a few, however you want to post it. But like but they upgraded huge at safety. Huge. What is up, Facebook user? How we doing today? The free agent signings are saying that we are in win now mode, but we are also extremely young, so it's long term too. Yeah, we are young, but like you know, even like with letting Aaron Jones go and bringing in Josh Jacobs, that's kind of keeping with that young scheme. You know what I mean? But I want to get to this call real quick. Let's see if I can find where this is. Here we go. Let's get to a call. We have one voicemail call. Let's get to it. It's about 2-minute call. You know what I mean? Let's let him have his time to shine, baby.
Hey, Matt. This is Brad Sipple, top fan from Wausau here.
What is up?
Just quick comment. It looks like the Bears are already popping off about how wonderful their team is, but like
yeah,
true Bear fashion, they usually
it's
get
what
a
they
bunch
do.
of free agents, don't know what to do with them, swing for the fences, and strike out like always. And as far as the Vikings, well, we all know about the Vikings. A year after year after year, it's the same thing. It's the
Every
funeral
year.
boat setting sail midway through the season. This year, I just get the feeling that they're taking Aaron Jones hostage on that funeral boat, and they're they're putting the kerosene and the gasoline on that funeral barge right now in the beginning of the season, because they just know that their season's doomed. Now the Lions, on the other hand, you know,
All right.
they won one division in 30 years.
They got it.
You know, it's magnificent for them. You know, they're pretty excited and pretty skied. But
They got the hats.
let's face it, their window was barely, it opened for a crack, and now
Dude.
we're gonna see the Green Bay Packers come along and close that window. And you know, as far as like Green Bay with their free agents, they've made a couple moves, but I think they know what they're doing here. We don't want to overpay for any players. We don't want to get too many players that are going to be, you know, detriment to our locker room. And we're keeping that age down, which is going to be really an important thing for our team in the future going forward. So I just want to see if you agree with me, if you take some of the same takes I take, or you know, as always, go Pack Go. Love you, man. Keep doing what you're doing. Go Pack Go.
All right. I appreciate the call. You know what I mean?
Matt,
The
this is
one
Brad Sipple,
the
top
one
fan from
voicemail call.
Wausau
Hang on.
here.
I have to
just
figure
quick
out
comment.
why did it start over.
It looks
I
like
wasn't
the
supposed
Bears are already.
Anyways, but great call. All right, talking about the NFC North, all right? Talking about the Bears, I don't feel are going to be a threat at all this season. I know they added some key pieces. Everyone's all excited about the Bears. They're still going to have a rookie quarterback. The Bears don't know how to coach a quarterback. I don't care who they draft. Until you show me, I'm not a believer in Chicago. Caleb Williams, like, there's a whole other thing RG3 was talking about. He should say, I don't want to go to Chicago. I want to talk about that next. But the Bears really don't scare me right now. I know that, you know, Bears fans like, oh, they're the top 5 wide receiver duo. The Packers wide receiver duo, I'll take over the Bears, especially with who they have thrown to them. The Vikings, they got Aaron Jones. They got what's his face, a tight end. They have a really good wide receiver, Justin Jefferson, one of the best wide receivers in the league. But the Vikings don't scare me either. I feel like those two teams are going to be interchangeable, 3rd, 4th place in NFC North. Then you got the Packers and you have the Lions. And I do feel like the Lions window did close a little bit. I wouldn't say it slammed shut, but like it closed a little bit. The Packers are the real deal. The Packers are coming for the NFC North this season. Like that was your moment. And you screwed it up, like doing like all the crazy stuff Campbell does. You know what I mean? He does what he does. But the Packers are coming for the NFC North and beyond this season. The Packers are the real deal. Their defense is going to be top notch. New defensive coordinator, because I don't care what anyone says. The first year of a new defensive coordinator, the defense usually plays up. Even if it doesn't work out long term, that first year usually plays up. You know what I mean? So I'm looking forward. The Packers have players on that defense, and I feel like the Packers are taking it north for sure. And then we'll see like what happens after. Once you get to playoffs, it's like a gamble. You know what I mean? It's just like throwing up there. All right, let's get to some of these comments over here. I've been slacking over here. What is this one? All right, here we go. We got hoo-ha! Love the voicemail. He's on the mark. Yeah, for sure. He definitely is. Vikings are on the come up. You know it, man. They're not, dude. They're not. They got Aaron Jones. They got a good running back. They got a good wide receiver. They got a good tight end. They don't have a quarterback, unfortunately. So that's not going to work out for them. You know what I mean? What's up, Chrissy? How you doing? Just hoping that they would draft Braylon Allen from the Badgers. There you go. We got ourselves some Viking fans loving my comment section. Here we go. Phone volume is kind of quiet. Okay, I'll try to fix that on the next go around. But I appreciate that comment. Does the Jacobs trade and Dylan re-sign take our eyes away from drafting any running backs? Well, it wasn't a trade for Jacobs. They just signed him in free agency. And talking about the AJ Dillon, They re-signed him. Does it take away from drafting any running backs? I don't think so. I think that the Packers probably draft a running back in that middle type of round, and then they'll see what happens. And like I say, I'm not a draft guru by any means, but that's just like my guess that they would have a running back, maybe even two in there at later round or whatever for the second one. But I would definitely think that they would draft running back at some point, and someone like in the middle round that they're feeling feisty about. You know what I mean? Dan says Caleb Williams is not that guy, and the Bears are going to regret dumping Fields for nothing. All right, so I want to get to this screen share I have over here. RG3. I'm not going to play the whole thing because I'm not going to steal his whole video, but I want to play a little bit of a clip of RG3 right here.
Caleb Williams should pull a Eli Manning and demand that the Chicago Bears do not draft him number 1 overall. After everything that's happened with Justin Fields, can Caleb Williams really look at that and say, you know what? This is the organization that has my best interest at heart, and they're going to help develop me into the player that I want to become. Caleb Williams is on record saying that he wants to be legendary. He wants to rewrite history, and he wants to be the best that he can possibly be and win the most games he can possibly win. After
all right, so seeing that, like RG3, right? He makes a good point, right? Because there's no Bear in the history of Chicago that had 4,000 yard passing, right? They haven't proven like how they've treated Justin Fields. Like he was going to be the next. First it was Trubisky, he was next. You know, everyone's like, yeah, Trubisky, wherever they traded up, didn't go to Mahomes for that one. Then Justin Fields, that didn't work out. But like, did it not work out because he sucks, or did it not work out because they don't know how to use him? They don't know how to like make it work for a quarterback. So like, does it matter who goes to Chicago? Are they all doomed? Is it a jinx? Is it bad in the franchise? Whatever. But like, I wouldn't suggest for Caleb Williams to like say I'm not playing in Chicago like RG3 is saying. But like, if I'm an agent or anyone who is like in his ear, I wouldn't suggest that. But like, he makes a good point. Like, dude, playing in Chicago does not go well for your career. Like, it just doesn't. The Bears are trash when it comes to quarterbacks. They don't know. I don't know what they do wrong, but they can't get it right. You know what I mean? So like, I would absolutely love it. First of all, Caleb Williams said, I want to go to Chicago after they trade Justin Fields. That would be hilarious, bro. That would be absolutely hilarious. But Caleb Williams, obviously a huge Packer fan. Why wouldn't he be? There's the tweets. I was going to throw them up here, but I'm not going to do that. But yeah, RG3 is kind of right. You know what I mean? What faith have the Bears given you that they're gonna be in your best interest to like develop you, especially if you want to be great? Remember Justin Fields? They said Justin Fields will go down as the second greatest player in Chicago history behind Michael Jordan. That was a real article I posted on Facebook the other day. That's just what it always is. And Caleb Williams, when he comes in, it's gonna be the same thing. But I feel like the Caleb Williams thing is not going to work. Let's get to some of the comments here. Caleb Williams looking at the Bears like my career is effed. You know what I mean? Jay Cutler, he was a guy, you know what I mean? We got the discount double doink, you know what I mean? How was your St. Patrick's Day, Matt? Was your choice of green jersey you wore yesterday? I did not wear a jersey. I did not drink green beer either. You know what I mean? I probably had a green hoodie on though. That's usually what I wear. You know what I mean? Any quarterback that goes to Chicago gets ruined. The Bears still suck. You know what I mean? What is up, Ramage? I agree. Bears will always suck. It it's kind of in the contract. Matt Nagy, Super Bowl champion coach, leaves Kansas City, goes to Chicago, loses, then goes back to Kansas City and wins another Super Bowl. Chicago is a curse. Dude, it really is a curse over there in Chicago. I don't know what they did. He's going to have to marry Virginia McCaskey to get ownership of the team. That's the thing. Like he said, there was reports of him saying he wanted ownership of whatever team drafts him. That's not even legal. That's not going to happen. But Mark says Love will be the second most talented quarterback in Green Bay history. Who is the first, Mark? Who do you got? I mean, I assume you'll say Aaron Rodgers, but we never know. You know what I mean? Chicago never puts together an O-line and quality coaches, patience, talent. Only ever 2 of the 4. Like, that's the thing. It's not even that, but like, there's a lot to be said about like letting your quarterbacks just like watch. I don't even know if they have to watch greatness. Like, obviously that helps because you see a Hall of Famer and like how they prepare and like all the other things like you kind of see, but like just not throwing them to the dogs. Like Caleb Williams, the amount of pressure on Caleb Williams is going to be so high because see so many Bears, fans like it's playoffs or buzz. It's just not like, like it's just like, dude, like you guys are just on like a repeat circle, right? Like if Caleb Williams doesn't work out, and then it's the same thing with Fields. It's like with Justin Fields, it was always like every draft, like, are they going to replace him? Are they going to not? Like they just do. Like Chicago sports is just like on a rotary. You know what I mean? It's so wild to me, all right? Viking fans planning on draft to be off-season champs again. That's kind of like what it is with like Vikings and Bears fans are the same thing right now, where they're just always like off-season chatting. You know what I mean? Could you imagine Davante Adams coming back to the Packers, adding him to our wide receiver group? We would be the most dangerous team in the NFL, especially our young wide receiver group can learn from the number 1 wide receiver, Davante Adams. I don't see that happening. That'd be nice. Anytime, bring him back, not even bring him back, but just adding one of the best wide receivers in the league. But I think the Packers are pretty good with like what they have. They're not going to trade. They're not going to try to do anything crazy. But like, yeah, Davante Adams coming back would be would be insanity. You know what I mean? Stacy says, all I can say is I'm glad Barry is going. I mean, yeah, he ain't coming back. Chicagoans' best quarterback video was when Cutler was on the stationary bike on the sideline. I remember when Jay Cutler went to Chicago, I was a little concerned because he was pretty good in Denver. But that Chicago got that curse going, you know what I mean? You go to Chicago, you start to suck a little bit. He'll be the second best Caleb to play quarterback for the Bears. Haney clears. There you go. I didn't get that at first. I do now. What do you see Green Bay doing about a kicker? I expect the Packers to bring in competition. I don't know like how that'll end, but I expect there to be a lot of competition at kicker in Green Bay come training camp over here. Here we go. Vikings are moving up for a quarterback. Yeah, I would assume that they're going to try for a quarterback because they don't have one right now. You know what I mean? They don't have one right now. Who do you think will pick up during the draft? Like, that's a tough one. I'm actually going to have some smart folk coming up over here. Jacob Westendorf, I think I might have on. I was just tweeting. Like, I got to get someone on, like, some draft knowledge over here on the show. So I think I'm going to have Jacob over here. But definitely, like, I think I'm going to be live during the first day of the draft, that first round, that first night. I'm going to try to find someone that go live with me that actually knows, because I don't watch college, so I'm not going to fake it and act like I know some stuff, you know what I mean? But I will have a draft show coming up here shortly. Here we go. Our lifetime has been awesome. Packers have been dominating the Bears for 3 decades. Before that, it was the opposite. Enjoy our time while we have it. Yeah, I remember that. I remember the time before it. It wasn't my lifetime. I don't know you young buck over here, you know what I mean? But I remember the 80s. I was born in 79, so it wasn't like I remembered all of them. But I remember being a kid. My neighbor was a Bears fan. A good friend of mine. He wasn't allowed over on Sundays because he was a Bears fan. John says, leadership, star, fun to play with, Favre, pure talent, Rodgers, Love will out-achieve above. Yeah, I think, like, they say, like, all the Packers great quarterbacks, Bart Starr, Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, and now Jordan Love, like, we'll see what Love has, but, like, all of them had, like, different attributes or different, like, things that kind of, like, they're known for. Like, Bart Starr was, like, before they had the earpieces in. They were kind of calling the plays. They were running the whole show. They were a leader. They were just tough. Like Bart Starr was a warrior. You hear about the Kramer stories of Bart Starr and all these guys. Bart Starr was an absolute warrior. Brett Favre was like playing football in the backyard. He was just out there sleeping that thing. You know what I mean? Just like when I was a kid and we'd go out like at halftime and play in the snow. We have snowsuits on, play football, come back in, check the score, all that. That's kind of like that Brett Favre theme. That's why he threw so many interceptions too. Because some were great, some were not so great. Aaron Rodgers, like precision thrower, like just an absolute menace on the field. You know what I mean? He could throw the ball like where he needed to get it, and he was conservative with it. Like he threw it out of bounds. That's kind of the knock on him. But Aaron Rodgers was very careful with the ball. Jordan Love is kind of like yet to be seen. Like he can. It's a little bit Aaron Rodgers-esque where he can like move around. He's not a runner, but he can run when he needs to. I think it's way too soon to be talking about what Jordan Love is, but I liked what I saw from him last year. You know what I mean? Let's get to some more. Mark says Green Bay should call you up and ask your advice. You were hella good at fantasy. Dude, I should have won the championship in fantasy, right, Mark? I should have won it, but I didn't. I screwed up. Jason says the only way the Bears and Vikings and Lions can get a Super Bowl ring is to sign ex-Green Bay Packers. That comment kills me, bro. Oh, that's awesome. I don't know why I made me laugh so hard. What's up? Here we go. Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback to ever play football. You know? I agree with that, but like I think it's hard to like talk about like when you talk about Bart Starr, you talk about Roger Staubach or like any of the guys back in the even like Joe Montana and Dan Marino, like it's like a different game. But like, yeah, if my back's against the wall, I'm gonna say Aaron Rodgers. Like in his prime, he was just stupid. You know what I mean? The great ones make it look easy. Aaron Rodgers made it look very easy. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Yeah, peak Aaron Rodgers, dude. Like, who could stop him? Not the Steelers. Here we go. Do you think Caleb Williams will be traded from the Bears to the Steelers in 2028? Maybe. I don't know if the Steelers probably be traded somewhere though. Kind of the Bears theme. They get a guy, right? Draft a guy, lots of hype. Do nothing with him. Don't help him. Don't you help him. I mean, they did draft some guys or get some guys in free agency. They signed some guys. But, dude, the Bears, I'm not sold on. I don't care who they have. I don't care. Tom Brady could sign with the Bears. I have no faith that Bears can do anything. They're like jinx. They're whatever. They're screwed up. Bears are stacking up, bro, but they will still suck. And that's kind of like my thought process with it. Like, I have no faith in them. You know what I mean? Watch Rodgers end up in Minnesota. Yeah, I wouldn't even be surprised. I don't know that he seems all up in love with the Jets. You know what I mean? Who wants to move from New York to Minnesota? You know what I mean? Rodgers won championship. All right, here we go. But all right, so here we go. I will be live every Monday through Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Central Time. I will have guests. The trivia show will come back. The trivia show will come back a little bit different. I probably won't have guests for the trivia show. It'll be more based on the people watching, the audience chat, people commenting, vibe with you. Make this your show. I want to have it set up so that people can send in videos and ask questions or just give a take. People can use the voicemail. People can text and I'll read the text, emails. I want to have it so like it's a questions, but also just anything that you want to talk about. Something you want to say. Some news breaks off. Give me a call. 328-5103. You know what I mean? And let's make this a show for the people, by the people. You know what I mean? I'm just the old cheese factory worker. So I'm trying to make this a show that everyone can enjoy. Plus, we'll have cool guests on, people who have knowledge and, educate us a little bit. We got Jacob Westendorf, hopefully coming on real soon. And I appreciate everyone who tunes in. 490 people watching right now. The numbers on this thing are kind of going up. I had like 1,300 people watching like last week, whatever it was, Thursday. But I'll be live Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. We're going to have a good time. We're going to find different ways to make this a fun show for everyone. You know what I mean? Ryan says, hi, Matt. Who should the Packers get the draft as a running back? Yeah, that's a little bit out of my expertise as far as like college guys, but we'll have a show up real soon with someone telling you who the Packers should draft running back. But I definitely think that they will draft running back in kind of like the mid rounds. They're going to have someone set up for the future, and depends like what they think about the guys on the roster right now. Matt, you should have a fantasy football league this year. Oh, maybe I will. Like I did the Pick'em League last year, and I'll do the Pick'em League this year too. I don't know if I'll do a Pick'em show because that wasn't as fun for me. I'll probably do like a mini Pick'em show where like now that I'm live 4 days a week where I'll talk about the picks, whatever, but just maybe not the whole show. Like it just got boring talking about like the Titans versus, whatever, the Falcons. I don't care. You know what I mean? I want to talk about stuff that I care about, stuff that's fun. But we're going to make this a fun show, people. We're going to have some good guests on. Like I think the trivia show will be fun, but also like different games and kind of make it fun, spice it up, make it a little bit different than every other show. I don't want to just stand here and talk about, all the boring stuff. You know what I mean? We're going to have a good time. But appreciate y'all tuning in. A lot of comments shopping in here. We got 500 people watching right now, but we're going to cut this thing out and tune in tomorrow night, 7:30. You understand? Monday through Thursday, 7:30 p.m. Central Time. I'm going to be right here. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to, especially like when stuff starts happening, get closer to the draft, after the draft, training camp and all that stuff. It's going to be a good time, people. I appreciate y'all rocking with me, though. I really do appreciate that. A lot of stuff to watch. And you're watching me. You could be watching Everyone Loves Raymond. You know what I mean? Go Pack, go, people. Much love to you. Packers winning the Super Bowl this season. Let me tell you that right now. You know what I mean? Go Pack, go. We out of this thing.